Hi everybody, thank you for being here. In today's video I'm going to be talking about my favorite drugstore nude lip picks. And I've been really enjoying a nude lip lately, and I've also been liking to see how I feel like when brands put out lines of nudes, it seems like the definition of a nude lip has really expanded to suit, I think, people of a variety of skin tones, kind of recognizing that one person's nude is not everyone's nude, and just kind of erasing that notion of a nude lip only being a shade that looks like you've covered your mouth in foundation or concealer, and being something that is more like a your lips but better shade, kind of going off the natural tones that exist in our lips, and being something that might be a little more peachy, a little more pink, a little more brown. So I'm really going to be offering up some favorites that cover the whole gamut of nudes, I think, in this video. And it's funny because I am wearing one of the lightest ones on my lips right now. I went pretty like pure stereotypical nude for just sitting here talking throughout the video, but I will be trying everything on, and it's a big focus on lipsticks, but I will mention a couple liners and a gloss that I love as well. And some of the first ones that I mention, certain ones you've heard me talk about a lot. Some of them are very long-term favorites, but then I've got a few new ones that I found that I want to tell you about from the Rimmel line that I tracked down at Walgreens. The Rimmel Kate Moss Lasting Finish Nude Lipsticks, and these are gorgeous too, and a great formula, so I'll mention those at the end. But first nude that I want to talk about is a kind of lip gloss lipstick in one. So it's like the shine of a gloss but in a lipstick format. I'm talking about my Sonia Kashuk Shine Luxe in the shade Sheer Pink Lust. And this is sort of the peachy nude of my collection. It does have some warmth to it. It has a tremendous amount of shine. I like that even though it is so shiny, it does give off a lot of nice color on the lips as well. It's not a totally like sheer tone. Next one I'm going to mention is my pinky nude. I know a lot of people love a nude that has a little bit more of a cool vibe to it, kind of a pink twist, and this also happens to be, I think, the most nourishing of everything I'm going to talk about. Like, if you want to wear your nude lip and you know your lips are chapped or really dry, this would be a great one to put on for comfort and for hydration. I'm talking about my Moisture Smooth Color Stick from Neutrogena in the shade Pink Nude. And as you look at this side by side with the last one, you can see it's more pinky, it's less shiny, it has more like just that subtle shine that a lip balm might have, and it goes on the lips so nicely, super smooth, has a nice bit of thickness to it that I think really makes the lips feel hydrated. So this has really become a favorite of mine. Next I want to go slightly deeper than that, and this I think is the true like your lips but better color, at least for me, for my lips, and it's the L'Oreal Glossy Balm in the shade Lovely Mocha. So this is a little bit more like a mauve-y nude. Perfect natural color for every day. I love as I apply it, I feel like I can see the natural tones in my lips just being nicely evened out, looking a little more finished, but it's just a very casual, easy to throw on color. Has about the same level of shine, I think, as the Neutrogena. Not maybe quite as heavy-duty hydrating as that, but still feels great on the lips. Next, this is kind of a new love for me, but if you like more classic nude and into a brownish type nude, you might like this 2-in-1 product from e.l.f. I think this is a great formula that they've got in these day-to-night lipsticks, and this is the one called Need It Nudes. So I've got both tones swatched together here for you. Again, one looks like a very normal classic nude, one is a bit more warm and brownish, and then I'll try them on separately here. You can see the nude shade. It's not often that I wear that one alone, but it really does look nice just as is, and again, the formula is fantastic, super pigmented. Then I'll show you the deeper side, and this just makes me think of a nice like caramel-y type color. I love the depth that it has. I think it's really pretty. It's very on trend for people who are enjoying a little bit more brownish look on the lips. But most often the way I find myself wearing this little lip duo, because I just can't hold back. I know that there's two, so I gotta wear them both at the same time. And when I do that, I think it's kind of fun. It adds a little bit of dimension to your look. You can make your lips appear a little bit fuller by having the lighter part on the inner part of, say, your lower lip or your middle of your upper lip. So I love that. I think that's a great release from e.l.f. Now, after all these things I mentioned, I know there's some people who are saying I like it totally matte, free from shine. So a couple that I would like to recommend that I think are both classify as nudes are from the Maybelline Creamy Mattes line. One is called Daringly Nude, and as you look at this one swatched out, I can see more pink in this than I ever realized, but putting it on the lips, this is a shade that is ultra full coverage. I do think this would suit a lot of skin tones because it's got a hair more depth than some of the lightest nude lipsticks out there. And then I also am a huge fan of Touch of Spice. This one lives in my purse a lot lot, hence the rounded off lipstick that I'm dealing with here right now. But this is kind of like a nice, deeper, richer, rosy nude. It's really walking the line, I think, of maybe even being called a nude, but I do think it's a very natural looking shade. And I love how these creamy mattes, you know, they don't look shiny at all, but yet they don't feel like an uncomfortable, super drying matte lipstick. And this is another little pairing that I like to wear together. I'll do a lot of the Touch of Spice shade and then kind of brighten up the center of the lips with Daringly Nude. They're a great duo. I know I've talked about them before, so you're probably like, yeah, broken record, keep talking. But those are a couple of my favorites. Now, if I may, I would like to tell you about what I found at Walgreens over the weekend, these Kate Moss nude lipsticks. So you can see the packaging on all of them, regardless of the shade of nude that they are. They are this pretty like peach packaging, and it does have the little Kate signature and the heart on the top part. They are the regular lasting finish formula. They are cream lipsticks. I got a look at almost all of them in the line. There were 2 shades I think that were sold out, and overall we're talking a range of like 8 or 10 different nude lip colors. It's a really big lineup, and from what I could tell, these are all just classic creamy lipsticks, not seeing shimmer in any of them, and it's just a super comfortable formula. I think it's been a while since I've just used the regular Rimmel standard lasting finish lipstick formula, and these feel even smoother, even creamier than I really remembered. And you know I like the Rimmel matte lipsticks as well, so Rimmel just kind of killing it with their lipsticks. And so I chose 3 from this nude line, and you can look at the bottom and kind of see what we're talking about in terms of shades. Some went just as light as humanly possible, and then there were, I think, 1 or 2 shades that went deeper than the darkest shade that I picked up. So if you are into the deep, rich brownie nudes, or you're into just the lightest possible shades, they've got it. And so I'll show you the swatch first. I got shade 42, and this to me seems like the most classic nude. I really wanted to pick up the thing that most people would identify as like a regular standard nude lip, and so that is what I've been wearing throughout the video as well. I think it's a really gorgeous color. It's definitely growing on me. At first I thought, oh, is that a little bit too light for me to handle? But I threw on just a little bit of a lip liner that I'll mention in a second, and I really like the effect on my lips. So very much enjoying that. It's very comfortable, and it has surprisingly good staying power for being a cream formula lipstick. Then I went for number 45, and this, in comparison to the last one, I see more of like a very light mauve, like the lightest mauve ever. I'm not so sure I have any shade in my collection that's exactly like this, because it's not like a warm pink. This is the coolest color I'll be mentioning in this video. And it kind of surprises you when you see it on the lips. It's very full coverage. It's a little bit different kind of look, but it's a fun way to switch up your regular nude. And lastly from that line, I got number 47, and this is a really nice kind of warm, rich, brownish color, but not too dark of a brown. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of similar to the darker end of that e.l.f. lip duo, but not quite that deep. And it's not quite as rosy as Touch of Spice. So I see a lot of brown in this color. I love this shade. I think this is going to be a gorgeous like late summer into fall shade, although, you know, wear it anytime. But I just love to see this really wide range that Rimmel had put out, because like I said, some go even darker than this. They are, again, a cream formula lipstick. You might notice a little more shine at the onset when you first apply them, but I just think they're gorgeous colors, and I'm so happy I found those. And I have to tell you about a lip liner pick that I really think would work for absolutely anything I've mentioned, and it is the NYX Slide-On Lip Liner in Nude Suede Shoes. I use this a little bit, just kind of defining my Cupid's bow a little bit more, a little bit on the outsides of the lip for this shade, which was, again, I think one of the lightest shades that I mentioned today, and I really just love the way it finished things off. But this is a super long wearing product, so you wear this all over the lips, under anything that I've talked about. It will change up the color somewhat because this may be deeper than certain shades. It'll have really good staying power that way, or like I did, you know, just use it kind of as a finishing touch to clean up your lips. But I love that shade. I love how workable it is. And then if you do want something a little bit deeper to mix in with your nude lips that might be lighter, I've talked about this one a lot lately, but it's the e.l.f. matte lip color in Praline. Love this shade. Very brownish, just about as brown as anything I've talked about today. It can go very deep. It looks pretty with just just all over the lips, you know, filled in, but it's a nice little kind of accessory to the things I've talked about. And then, you know, I've got to talk a nude gloss real quick, and I had pulled out like 4 or 5 nude glosses from the drugstore that I love, and then I thought, you know, let's just simplify this. You know that there's one true favorite, and it is this. It is the L'Oreal Extraordinaire Gloss in the shade Nude Ballet. I really feel like this is the best nude gloss pretty much in any price range, and it looks good paired with a nude lip. It looks good alone. It's got a great, comfortable, non-sticky texture. I enjoy the applicator that kind of comes to a bit of a point there, and I just love that shade. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope if you're getting into the nude lips, whether they be a light nude, a peachy nude, a pinky nude, a brownie nude, that maybe you found something that will appeal to you in this video. And I am so excited about that Kate Moss line. If you've tried anything outside of the number 42, 45, or 47 that you'd like to recommend to me and tell me about, I am totally game for checking out some more of those. So thank you again, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.